So, what are the 5 most important things you need to know before you take your first training class so you don't look like a freaking idiot? Here we go. Yeah, speaking of the Magpool days, I don't know, this was 12, 14 years ago now, probably. Um, Chris Costa and Travis Haley, they put out this video series if you're not old enough. And if you are, um, you need to probably go get that prostate checked. But in any case, um, remember the days of the art of the tactical carbine and the dynamic handgun, the precision, the art of the precision rifle, and the dynamic shotgun. So yeah, I spent a bunch of time watching those videos. Go out and train as much as I could on the flat range, and had taken some classes. And I don't know if you guys remember these guys, but the Gunsmoke guns. They did a series on I think the Discovery Channel or something like that. Um, um, so anyway, Gunsmoke had some training courses with Rich Wyatt and those guys. They just so happened to be in the building across the street from my business, and this is right after the assault weapons ban uh, uh, sunset, and I went over there and got my first M&P um, AR-15. So took a couple classes with those guys. They're not teaching anymore, thank God. But you think you're high speed after taking something like that. But my first Magpool class was quite embarrassing. Um, I ended up being that guy um, in that class. It was a little high speed for me. Back in those days, ammo was cheap, and so it's a 2 day course, and we went through probably 2,000 plus rounds of ammo in that class, and I was bruised from head to toe. They like to run you physically into the ground, but anyway, once you get tired, you start doing stupid, unsafe shit. So anyway, that was my experience, and that's one of the tips that I point out is don't be that guy. Um, that guy is usually the guy that is unsafe, and I wasn't the safest shooter on the range that day, that's for sure, or those 2 days that we took the class. But anyway, when you're signing up for the class, make sure you're vetting the class to make sure that it's your speed, and take a bit of humble pie, and don't assume you're high speed. Um, so when you do show up to a class, you can be safe, because if you're running too fast for your level of experience, you're going to be that guy. So anyway, um, yeah, for those of you that watch those, the art of the tactical carbine, and you were checking out that chick on there, Tammy, uh, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down below, and again, go get your prostate checked. So Anyway, that's the Magpul days. Um, Next thing I would say, one of the tips I learned, and this is how I learn. Um, I don't. I mean, you go to some classes and people are just taking notes, pages and pages of notes, and of course, be considerate and bring a notepad and pen. Um, but I always do, and I come away with a couple of different bullet points, and that's about it. What I found I like to do is, if the instructors allow it and they have PowerPoint presentations, and or let's say they're writing on targets and they're which is really um, a good thing for some people to do. Instructors, when they write on the targets, take a picture of the target, take a picture of your targets, um, maybe give yourself some verbal notes in your phone about what the targets mean to you, and then that way you can remember that information. So that's step or point two, I would say, is take pictures, take videos, um, and at least that's the way I remember things best. So another thing too, um, when you're on the range, um, take electronic ear pro for one, but make sure. I would just say just leave your ear pro on, even if you're taking a break and it's hot. Don't take your ear pro off until your gun's clear and you're back at the if you're getting if you're doing reloads, and stuff and mags and stuff like that. Of course, take them off. But when you're on the range, make sure your ears are on. A couple of things I've seen, and I've done it too, is you're going up to the line's hot, nobody reminds you to put your ears on. Um, People start shooting, you realize your ears are off, and your gun's in your hand, and you put your ears back on. Don't touch your head with your gun in your hand. Um, that's just a bad, just it's a cringe-worthy thing to do on the range when you're out there. So yeah, keep the ear pro on. Um, Again, even when if it's hot, um, and use electronic ear pro. So that's I would say that's my third tip. And again, um, go slow. You're there to learn. You learn better when you're going slow, and unless the instructor says to go Ricky Bobby speed, but maybe a time for that, so you can find failure. But in general, go slow. Go slower than you think you can or you should. Um, that's that's tip four. So, and then this is kind of going back to being that guy. I mean, you're not going to probably get shit for it, but people will talk about you. But it's brass call. Whenever you take a class, um, be the guy that wants to jump in and help everybody else out. And one of the things you can do is your brass call. Um, Bring Ziploc bags. I bring the big 1 gallon Ziploc bags out there because for some reason people like to take their hats off and fill them with the spent brass, and that's just not good. That's if you want lead poisoning, that's the thing you need to not do. I just go out there and I hand out the Ziploc bags. That way, when you're picking up brass, you can just put them in the Ziploc bags. You don't have to keep running back to the bucket with a handful of brass. It just makes it more efficient for everybody. And Ziploc bags aren't that expensive. Um, so yeah, be the guy that helps other people out, and that's one thing I do is to bring the Ziploc bags. So and then also too, I bring the lead wipes and the lead off wipes and hand those out to people, just to make sure everybody's healthy. So brass call, um, bring Ziploc bags, and lead-free wipes. So yeah, and then I would say the final tip I would say is make sure you're bringing hydration, and those hydration salts are really nice. Bring enough for everybody because people don't bring them, and I've been to classes when it's been like 104 degrees, and the first day, people just become dehydrated and they don't make it the second day. I had a class where it was 104, and I don't know, it was maybe 15 to 16 people in the class. And then the next day, I think three of the people that were in the class first day didn't make it the second day because they were just too freaking dehydrated. So, proper clothing, hydration, and food. Bring food. Bring food that you can eat um, during your breaks because a lot of instructors they just want to teach. Um, I mean, I've been in like Travis Haley's class, the D was it D5 um, pistol, and I did D5 rifle. Each are 3 day classes, and I did 6 days straight. Make sure you're eating, you're hydrating. You're not going to make it for a 6 day course if you're not doing those things. And always stay ahead of the curve. Never let yourself become thirsty. Just drink even if you don't have to. Make sure you're pissing clear. That's one of the things that's really cool is if you're drinking enough, you're pissing clear. Always check that. And then when it's cold, make sure you bring warm clothes. There's never a range that's too cold. It's just you're not dressed properly. Um, I've done classes, especially night vision classes, and it gets dark, it's snowing, it's spitting all kinds of weather at you, and you're out there and you're freezing your ass off. When you're cold, your brain doesn't work very well. Also, when you're hot, it doesn't work very well. So you're there to learn. So make sure you're feeding yourself and you're hydrating yourself, and you're keeping yourself warm if it's cold, and keeping yourself cool if it's hot. Um, yeah, so that's some of the most important things I've learned. Um, Another bonus I would say, if you can, is bring extra guns. Um, because if your gun goes down and you got to fix it, or if you can't fix it, you're going to lose out on your training. Um, I've been to a class, I've been to a couple of classes. I've been to one where I had my staccato, the plate came off, or it came loose during the class. And the way the staccato is, you have a lower plate and an upper plate, and the lower plate came off, and it was just a cluster mess. So I had to basically switch up to my other gun, and luckily I had a backup gun. Another class I took, the actual sight, the red dot sheared off the gun, and then so I had screws stuck in the screw bosses, and I couldn't fix it. So luckily I had another gun. Um, oh, excuse me. Better. So anyway, I guess this video is turning into a few more things than just 5 tips. So I have to change the title of that. But another thing, um, this goes along. I mean, this is if you can. Um, is load your magazines before the class and have extra magazines. Um, I try to load enough ammunition on the for the classes that I'm taking, so I have enough ammo loaded for the entire day, so I don't have to stuff any mags. Um, I can just go and grab mags and jump back on the line, or I can hang out with people while they're stuffing their mags. Keeps my fingers nice and fresh for shooting, and the it just cuts down on the amount of work you got to do while you're at the class, so you can focus on shooting and learning. Um, so yeah, always stuff your mags before the class. Also, too, um, bring a magazine that's empty, because sometimes you got to step up to the line with a certain amount of ammunition in your magazine, and all your magazines are loaded, so you got to start downloading magazines in order to get to the proper round count that they're calling for any given drill. So bring a extra magazine that's empty. Um, let me see here too. Also too, um, this is about fatigue, I guess. You're there to learn in the class. So if you think you're going to go there and you're going to kit up with all your body armor and all your chest rigs and all your belts and all that stuff, don't do that. Um, I've been to classes where I've just kind of had to say, hey, yeah, I took this class, and when I took the class, I wore way too much gear, and by the time the class was over, I was a pile of crap. I mean, I was um, so tired. It was actually first night vision class I took with Warrior Poets Society and Green Line Tactical. Of course, John Lovell said, "Yeah, bring all your gear and all that stuff." So I wore body armor and a chest rig and a battle belt, and I could barely stand up after that. The second day of that class at the end, um, like 1 2 o'clock in the morning when we were going over the final brief, and God, I mean, I almost passed out. So, yeah, again, you're there to learn. So think about your body, and then your mind will actually learn better if you're taking care of your body. So yeah, that's a few things that I would say about training. Again, I've taken, gosh, over the last probably 15 years, I've taken probably 15 days a year of professional training, or being taught by a professional trainer. Um, so, hey, Chapo. So anyway, um, I guess if there's one thing I've learned, or one thing I know, is that when you're is about training, because um, that's how I go on vacation. I go and take training classes. So yeah. Anyway, I hope all that helps out, and makes your next training class and a better experience for you. So yeah, have a good day. And by the way, thanks.